4, 3.
Academy of Art University's Urban Nights Update is next. Coming up, the story of the bicyclists who took matters into their own hands and are being applauded by City Hall.
A very creative way to help deter thieves from stealing bikes is a bike lock you won't believe.
How the presidential campaign and sexist comments are affecting females and the way they are feeling about the way they look.
And a preview of some places to check out for Halloween weekend. All that and more coming up on Urban Nights Update.
I smiled. And that's not like the first time I've ever smiled. Hi there, and thanks for joining us here at Academy of Art University's Urban Nights Update. Michaela Sterner is with me, and I'm Daniel Boderspa. Some San Francisco cyclists have taken initiative and put in their own plastic barriers on a common route going into Golden Gate Park. To get to the east side of the park, cars and bikes veer from Fell Street onto JFK Drive. This is the danger zone. Usually the city would be quick to take anything down that is not pre-approved and is obstructing. But that is not the case here. The city hopes to work with cyclists moving forward.
There are over 2.6 million people bicycling every year in San Francisco. However, all the streets are not entirely safe, and people are getting frustrated. I have more on the story. Before these bike barriers was installed in the Golden Gate Park, the cars could easily drive into the bike lane to better make the turn. However, after the summer where a woman bicycling got hit by a car and died, people got frustrated and took matters in their own hands. Chris Cassidy from San Francisco Bicycle Coalition did not think this was a surprise.
Completely understand how they got to a place where they're so frustrated, where construction on projects like Masonic Avenue takes 8 years to even begin breaking ground. We're talking about a place where people have actually died biking, and it takes 8 years for construction to begin.
The 10 barriers cost $300 and was installed by the San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency, an organization which is not connected with the city. Usually objects put up by non-governmental authorities are taken down. In this case, the city has not planned any replacement yet and are letting the barriers stay put. Even though the citizens have taken action by putting up these barriers, it is still not safe enough for the cyclists. According to the San Francisco Bicycle Coalition, 70% of severe traffic collision happens on 12% of the streets. Meanwhile, 60% of severe injury happens on just 6% of the streets. Stuart Keene, an everyday biker, says that the barriers is not something that will make a bigger difference.
I don't know if it's an improvement or not, but if it gives people on a bicycle, if it makes them feel a little bit safer, then I suppose that's a good thing. You know, there's a sense of responsibility that has to be shared between car drivers and bike riders, I suppose.
SFTMA says that they are improving the safety issues, and the goal is to double the amount of barriers in 1 year's time. In San Francisco, I'm Michaela Sterner for Urban Nights Update. The SFMTA are working on a protected curbside bike lane that separates the bike lanes from the car lanes.
The Bay Bridge bike path is officially open as of last Sunday afternoon. Hundreds of bikers and pedestrians came to the opening of the final segment spanning from Emeryville to Yerba Buena Island. The pathway runs both directions and is 15.5 feet wide, with an outside lane for pedestrians. Caltrans says that they plan to add more to the path this summer, but for now it will be open from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. A San Francisco man might have the answer for keeping your bike safe. He recently developed the skunk lock, designed to shoot out an odor so disgusting most people vomit when they smell it. Thieves that attempt to cut the skunk lock will experience shortness of breath and irritation to their eyes. The creator hopes that this will be enough to keep bikes around the Bay Area safe.
Tesla announced that they would not let owners of their cars drive for Uber when the car is self-driving mode. Their latest model allows owners to use their cars hands-free, but this comes with parameters. The company announced that when a person buys the Model S Tesla, they are agreeing to a set of terms and agreements, including the Uber ban. How Tesla plans on enforcing this ban has yet to be announced. Uber is a very popular way of getting around the city, but it might be changing in a big way soon. Vanessa Arcelay has more on the story.
Uber is a company known for being an innovator, and they are taking that innovation to a new level with the development of self-driving vehicles. Transportation expert Alex Davis was one of the people invited by Uber to experience the new technology.
The experience started off really just like a regular Uber ride. You pull out your phone, you open up the app, and say, here's where I am, here's where you want to go, and you pull up an Uber. Except when the car pulls out, it's not just some guy in his Prius or his Ford Taurus trying to make extra money. It's this Ford Fusion that's covered in this pile of sensors. It's got spinning lasers and cameras and radars all over it. And instead of one guy in the front seat, it's two trained engineers sitting up front.
Stanley Travers is one of those people in their Prius trying to make extra money.
I have 6 kids, I have a big family, I have a lot of bills like everybody else. So I rely heavily on Uber, I work quite a bit. I'm probably around 8,500 trips so far. I think Uber does have an obligation to help the people, to work with the people who are drivers now, because we've built the company.
Now, safety has been given as an advantage for autonomous vehicles instead of human drivers. But for a brand like Uber, which has had so much success, it brings up the question, why are they so motivated to develop this technology?
So Uber is a business, it's trying to make money, and right now its biggest cost is that the people, the men and women who drive its cars, or who drive their cars for Uber, take most of the fares. They take at least half, 2/3, 75% of the fares that customers pay. So if Uber can get rid of that overhead, if Uber can find a way to make the cars drive themselves, you don't have to pay those humans all that extra money, and you can start taking a lot more of the fares that people are paying. So I don't think Uber driver will be a long-term career.
Technology advancement won't stop, and drivers like Stanley know that. But to him, it seems there is another perspective being overlooked.
While I'm cognizant of the future and what's going to change and what's going to happen, there's still the human aspect of it where you have guys like myself, and I think there's 40,000 registered Uber drivers in San Francisco. Well, there's 40,000 people that are out of a job.
Davis estimates that this technology won't be fully implemented for at least 3 to 5 years. In San Francisco, I'm Vanessa Arcelay for your Urban Nights update.
The 3 to 5 year estimate comes from research that Alex Davis has done on the market for autonomous vehicles. For Uber drivers, they at least have the near future to prepare for what is going to come. California's Department of Motor Vehicles has proposed a set of rules on how the state will regulate self-driving vehicles. Currently, the rule is that the 18 companies who are developing autonomous cars are allowed to test the vehicles on the road as long as those cars have a qualified driver. In order to certify the vehicle safe for public use, the companies would have to submit at least a year's worth of testing data on when the car had to be taken out of autonomous mode in order for the driver to take control. The California DMV has stated that it will be reconsidering the rules in the coming months.
A tone of resignation has crept into Donald Trump's presidential ambitions 2 weeks from Election Day. He still barks loudly about winning in November. "I guess I'm behind in the polls, but not by much," he told Bo Thompson of WBT's Charlotte's Morning News. Trump is maintaining his defiant posture on Twitter, and as he tries to rile up his supporters and convince them that the only way he can't win in November is if the election is stacked against him. Hillary Clinton takes Donald Trump's attacks on women's bodies very seriously. At a town hall meeting in Haverford, Pennsylvania, a 15-year-old girl asked Clinton what can be done to get girls to understand that they are so much more than just what they look like. Clinton said, "Women need to be the best we can be and be proud of who we are."
So how does this presidential election affect young women? We have Noah Daniels with more on the story.
Image has been a huge topic of discussion for decades after various celebrities have come forward promoting self-love and sharing their own stories about their struggles with a positive body image. While having a positive self-body image had become a bit of a trend, presidential candidate Donald Trump has made a habit of speaking negatively on the female body.
In particular, when it comes to women. You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals.
And women are most at risk for eating disorders and body dysmorphia. With Trump's attacks being made so public, parents of young girls worry about the effects that this has on their children. Mart Wattenmaker, the father of 2 young girls, is one of them.
You know, the fact that I have 2 young girls, it's going to be interesting to see what comes up in the future for them as they, start to grow up and really start to recognize and notice what's going on out there when it comes to body shaming.
The concerns surrounding the well-being of a child after hearing attacks made towards women not only in politics but media generally are valid. Michelle Wolf, a professor at San Francisco State University, explains just how much of an effect these negative images have.
People who view it, who have strong media literacy skills, media education, even those people, my students, are affected by these messages. This translates to young people who are exposed to these messages or indirectly from talking to other people. So you don't have to see the message to be affected by it. And everybody's talking about this now, certainly all adults. And this is the kind of thing that is hurtful to children and to women.
While removing all negativity surrounding women in the media seems nearly impossible, organizations like the Dove Self-Esteem Project, The Body Positive, and Beauty Redefined are helping make a difference. In San Francisco, I'm Noah Daniels with the Academy of Arts Urban Nights Update.
To learn more about how you can help the movement, visit thebodypositive.org. Recently, a newlywed woman was dumped by her husband after he sees her without makeup. This all occurred in the United Arab Emirates when the couple were swimming at a beach. The 28-year-old wife's makeup was washed away, revealing artificial eyelashes and cosmetic surgeries. The husband said he could not recognize her. Now the woman began seeking for help from a psychologist to overcome her divorce.
Now, cosmetics is a way for many women to feel confident, but do we really know what chemicals hide inside makeup, and are they safe for us to use? Maria Mesa has more on the story.
As we know, makeup can make anyone feel and look good. But unfortunately, it is also one of the most harmful things we can put on our skin due to chemicals inside of it. Noah Daniels, a makeup user, tells us why makeup can be dangerous.
When I was a sophomore in high school, I was diagnosed with celiac disease, which is a severe allergy to gluten, wheat, barley, and rye. And something that I was unaware of, because it's not talked about, is that gluten is in a lot of cosmetic products. And with that, what I was putting on my skin was giving me an allergic reaction.
And she's not alone. In a recent study done by Skin Deep, over 25% of women have allergic reactions due to cosmetics.
According to Green Living Online, there are many chemicals in makeup that can harm you, such as parabens, which are found in lipsticks and eyeshadows and can cause skin rashes and breast cancer. Phthalates, which are found in nail polish and can affect hormones and cause kidney cancer. Lastly, propylene, which is found in lotions, sunscreen, and foundations, and it can cause damage to the brain as well as skin irritation. As we can see, cosmetics can not only damage the outside of our body, but also the inside. Liz Carrillo, a makeup artist, gives us tips on how to prevent damage to our skin.
Not sharing products, that's super important. You definitely don't ever want to share mascaras. We all have different type of bacteria in our eyelashes, and when you let somebody borrow a mascara, it can do nothing, or it can just give somebody else some kind of infection.
If you would like to know more on what chemicals are found in cosmetics, go to ewg.org, a cosmetics database that lets you see which types of makeup are good and bad for your skin. In San Francisco, I'm Maria Mesa for Urban Nights Update.
A new study by EWG is still in progress in order to find a better alternative for certain chemicals that are put in makeup. Olympic gold medalist Lauren Cheney had a successful surgery last Thursday for a brain tumor. The surgery had been delayed because of the birth of their first child in September. Her husband, Drew Holiday, New Orleans Pelicans point guard, has taken his leave from the league so he can be by his wife's side through recovery. Breaking the stereotype that NBA stars are just more than hungry players.
Now, over to Jackson with sports.
Thank you, Michaela. We all know that athletic wear is important to any athlete, but are high-tech shoes worth the cost? With all the innovations being made on shoes, are they really helping you run faster or even jump higher? At the Portland, Oregon headquarters of sportswear, maker Adidas footwear developers are using motion capture technology to design their latest shoes. REMIS is the name of the technology that is being used to see how the materials stretch on the foot while in motion. They've used it while developing shoe lines like the Ultra Boost and Alpha Bounce. With the new addition of the materials in the soles, the company claims that it gives wearers an extra boost when running or walking. But the real question is, are they worth it? Most people seem to think the price has no effect on how the product performs, but still people spend tons of money for shoes they believe are better. Who is to say Nikes are better than New Balance or even Puma? We all know that because of shoe brand and commercial value, that children and adults are drawn to them. But if they are planning on using them for recreational purposes, why not save a bit of cash and try a cheaper brand? I guess it all depends on what shoe you are looking for in the end, but be sure you know that sometimes a shoe that costs $150 could be just as good as a $50 shoe. With Halloween only 4 days away, are you sports fans still looking for a costume? Don't just be a normal guy and grab a jersey out of your closet and call yourself Peyton Manning or even a ref. Why not try and live a little and go for something out of the park? If you're looking for a great idea for a costume, we've got you covered. Why not try and be Jim Harbaugh? Just grab a blue sweater and some khakis and you're on your way. But if you really want to make it pop, don't forget his signature fine point Sharpie on the string with his whistle. Be sure to yell out some plays at that party. Is that not good enough for you? How about a baseball fan, LeBron James? LeBron has been pulling hard for the Indians this October, but he grew up a Yankees fan. All you got to do for this is mix and match both Indians and Yankee gear. I know that sounds unorthodox, but LeBron is one crazy dude anyway. If both of those costumes still don't work for you, how about dressing up as a legend? Goldberg has returned to the WWE this year and is at the top of the wrestling world right now. You could always just do his basic jeans and leather jacket, but you don't want to look like a Wolverine wannabe. Why not do the tiny trunks and knee pads if you really have the gonads? Of course, you will need a bald cap and definitely his signature goatee. And if you see any clowns, be sure to spear them like you are trying to rip them in half, Goldberg style. I hope I've been able to help you find some. This year's World Series is going to be one for the ages. With the Cubs going up against the Indians, we are in for an amazing battle. But will the Cubs' curse strike again and ruin their chances? Since the 1945 World Series, when the Cubs' own William Billy Goat Sionis got stopped at Gate 4 with his goat Murphy, even though the goat had the ticket, Sionis cursed the team, saying that because they wouldn't let his goat in, that they would never win another World Series. They then lost Game 4 and tied up the series. The Tigers eventually won that championship, and the curse was born. And the Cubs continued to feel it. The legend of the curse only grew as the Cubs continued to stumble in their smattering of postseason appearances over the next several decades. And it even spawned a couple other reasons for the Cubs' postseason futility. But this year, the curse seems to have lifted. But knock on wood and cross your fingers, for the series has started and we still do not know what the future holds. I hope I've not only helped you find some cool costumes, but given you good information for the year. Keep an eye out for the World Series. Back to you, Michaela.
Now Vanessa Arsley has an interview with Maddie Stout, Director of Urban Nights Radio.
Thank you so much, Maddie, for joining us. So you're here to talk about Urbanites Radio. How did the idea for Urbanites Radio start up?
Well, about 5 years ago, I was asked to come here. I was living in Los Angeles, and I was asked to come and start the radio program and the radio station here at the campus. At the time, we had kind of a radio station, but there was nobody on it. It was just like a stream of music. So we rebranded the station and named it UrbanItesRadio.com, and we got it on iHeartRadio. And the idea from the beginning was that it would be a place where students would have full control, and that be a place, you know, we started off in a little back room here in the building, and then we got a big space, and you know, the idea was always that we would have a place where people could come, hang out, and do radio, and it's come to fruition.
What was the first goals for you when you run this radio station?
Get the students involved, make sure that everybody on the air is a student, all the music is programmed by the students, and that it's a living, breathing, working radio station, that it changes and evolves with the student body. So every semester and every year, the station changes a little bit because the student body changes because people graduate and new people come up. So when new students come up, they get to put their brand on the station.
I see. So for these students that are here from another countries, where their family can, you know, listen to them and just join them too?
Yeah, it's great because we have shows. We have some students from China that do, we've had shows done in Chinese, and we try to air them at a time so that back home that they can listen. And because we're on iHeartRadio, anybody in the world can listen to our station, so it is really cool. In fact, we've had shows done for folks in Indonesia, China, and of course we had some Spanish language shows, and hopefully you'll be doing one soon.
Yes, hopefully. Also, I know that you guys have a show called Tuesday Tunes. How does this idea for Tuesday Tune, what is overall, and how did the idea come up?
Well, the idea is that our radio station is an influential station. We report our playlists to College Music Journal, so artists want to come through and do shows for our students. So Tuesday Tunes is a place where they can come and do their music, as well as promote their albums, their tours, whatever's happening. And it's just cool. It's a nice little thing to do on Tuesdays about 3 o'clock. We do about every other week.
So how can the people find Urbanized Radio?
So to listen, you can go to UrbanItesRadio.com. You can also find us on the iHeartRadio app, as well as follow us on Twitter, Nights_radio, and the Facebook page, UrbanItesRadio.com.
Thank you so much for joining us. Back to you guys in the studio.
There are many restaurants around San Francisco that we might know of, but there are some that still need to be discovered. Priscilla Mora has more on restaurants that are under the radar.
Throughout the city of San Francisco, there are still restaurants that have yet been discovered, so I decided to take a look at some of those restaurants. The first restaurant I visited is called Jones. Jones is a small, classy restaurant hidden in the middle of Jones and Geary. Customers like Jackie Palingas enjoys the ambience and vibes she got from Jones.
It's really classy and chill. The service is really good. The drinks are really good. The mimosas, Bloody Mary.
Jones is a great place for breakfast and brunch. They offer healthy alternatives as well as their bottomless mimosas. You can enjoy a nice brunch with the family on their rooftop garden.
San Francisco is a city known for their diversity in people, culture, and definitely food. There are so many restaurants that have yet been discovered.
After I visited Jones, I visited Brenda's, located on Polk and Eddy. Brenda's is known for their original French soul food. Customers like Cynthia Becerra enjoy the authenticity that Brenda's has to offer.
It was so good, like delicious. I've never had anything like that before. Really good. I would come back again and I would wait 4 hours for it. It was really good.
Brenda's is open 7 days a week at the corner of Polk and Eddy and offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. San Francisco has some great places to offer that aren't always recognized. For more under the radar restaurants, visit sfeater.com. In San Francisco, I'm Priscilla Moore with the Academy of Art University's Urbanites Update.
So make sure to check out these 2 restaurants in the city and support local businesses. Now over to Jade with the latest in entertainment.
There are 2 new DVD releases and 2 events that's taking place within this week. But first, let's jump into the upcoming movies. If you are into movies with a little mystery and thriller, then Inferno is definitely the movie for you. It's based off of the book Inferno, created by Dan Brown. Let's take a look. After being in a car accident,
Professor Lennon, no one can find the virus.
my God.
After being in a car accident, Doctor Strange has to adapt to the fact that he will no longer be able to use his hands. And since his medicine is not able to cure him, he loses hope and seeks for redemption in the Enclave. It's a huge battle for him in the Enclave, and he has to fight unseen dark forces who is trying to destroy the world. It's up to him to choose between his life and the world. Bleed for This is a new documentary movie based on the life of championship boxer Vinny Paz, who refuses to retire after a car accident. This movie will keep you on your edge of your seat with Vinny's hard dedication to stay in the game.
I can't be part of you getting hurt no more.
I'm not done. All right, I got more in me.
Now go out there and show me how you do things. Show me how you live. Show me how you fight.
The new DVD release of the thriller movie Nerve has officially dropped today. If you need a reminder of how this movie keeps you on the edge of your seat, here's a short clip.
Okay, next light is...
Come on, stay with me. What's going on?
Next light is green. Faster!
We're doing this, B.
60 seconds.
Are we clear now?
Still clear.
A married woman with 2 kids who works as a sales rep for a coffee shop continually feels exhausted after work. She has teamed up with 2 other mothers and they go on wild adventures to escape the daunting task of motherhood. If you love Halloween...
Many people are getting ready to...
Jake. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
If you love Halloween and you love to dance, then Truck or Treat is the event
Many
for you.
people are getting ready this
It's located
Halloween.
at the Soma
The city
Food
is full
Park,
of some
and it
cute,
starts at
yet
8 p.m.
creepy
Keep going. I don't know.
Should you keep going?
Why look so hard?
From a trigger. Great. I cannot say that word.
Okay. Okay. If you love Halloween and you love to dance, then Truck or Treat is the event for you. It's located at the Soma Food Park, and it starts at 8 p.m. to 12 a.m. It will be $20 at the door, and there will be disco, DJs, food trucks, and drink specials this Saturday. There's an event for you comedian lovers also, and it's called World Class Comedy. Don't worry if you can't make it this Wednesday because it's in effect every Wednesday and it's free. It's located on West Fillmore Street in the Marina. I hope everyone enjoys their Halloween and be safe, and tune in next week for more on entertainment news.
Many people are getting ready this Halloween. The city is full of some cute yet creepy decorations. But as we know, San Francisco has a lot of history that covers some spooky places that we might not know of. As you walk in Golden Gate Park, you might come across Strawberry Hill and Stowe Lake. It might look like a relaxing place, but there is a 100-year-old tale that talks about a woman who many people call White Lady. According to this tale, the woman was sitting by the lake talking to another woman with her baby in the stroller. Without her noticing, the stroller began to roll down and eventually landed in the lake. After hours, she realized her baby was gone. It is rumored that if someone goes to Stowe Lake at night, many weird occurrences happen. Many stories have been told that the lady comes up from the lake or the statue in her honor comes to life. Another place you can visit this Halloween is Sutro Baths, located in Lansing.
Sutravas is a historic landmark that once stood as a saltwater pools that were opened to the public in 1996. But in the 1960s, a mysterious fire occurred that burned the baths to the ground and many people were trapped inside the ruins. According to backpackerverse.com, there have been many scary sightings of ghosts, especially at nighttime. Lastly, one of the most haunted places near the city is Alcatraz. As we know, Alcatraz used to stand as a maximum security prison. Many prisoners died inside the cell and now they walk the hallways of the rock. If you want to experience Alcatraz after dark, go to alcatraztickets.com. And if you're brave enough to take a night walk on Halloween, be aware of the other ghosts roaming around the city. In San Francisco, I'm Maria Mesa for Urbanites Update.
If you would like to know more about Halloween tours in the city, go to sfghosthunt.com.
Now we go to Mackenzie Granville with our question of the week.
With Halloween quickly approaching, I went out on the street to ask people what their favorite part of the holiday is.
So I really like how everybody gets to dress up the way they want. I think it's really, really cool how people get to express themselves in probably some ways that might seem taboo to other people.
Halloween. My favorite part, I think, being from like an art school is definitely more of the costumes and kind of figuring out exactly what style and what you want to do and just kind of going all out in that aspect.
No, I love getting in character so much. Like I'm going as female Bones from Star Trek and I am going to rock the out of that dress. Like it's super short, so I'm going to wear pants underneath, but I'm so excited for that.
And that is it for this edition of Academy of Art University's Urban Nights Update. I'm Daniel Boderspaw.
And I'm Michaela Sterner. For everyone here, thanks for joining us. See you next time.